growth and development are usually used to mean the same thing. Growth and development are usually indicated in terms of per capita gross domestic product, or what we call the GDP. So this is the measuring unit for growth and development, or simply the per capita income. A growth in the per capita GDP is supposed to contribute to a rise in the standard of living of the people in general. That is, if there is a growth in per capita income in GDP, so every person, like per capita income is the total income of the nation by the population, number of population. So it is an average income earned by each and every person in the total population. So if there is a rise in PCI, or the per capita income of the domestic product, so this rise in the per capita income of the domestic product will raise the standard of living of the people in general. So this is one important thing, the standard of living. So by standard of living, we can judge the development, and with just the rise in PCI, per capita income, we can judge the growth. So we can simply say, suppose taking the example of our salary, if there is an increase in salary, that doesn't mean that there is a development aspect, because there is a growth in salary. So salary is increased, that is that there is a growth in salary. But development aspect is, this salary led us to enjoy a higher standard of life or not. Because sometimes your salary can increase, but because of several situations, you cannot increase the standard of your living. So maybe suppose if there is an increase in salary, and at the same rate the prices of the things are also rising. So in this situation, we cannot say that there is a development. So there is a very distinct line between growth and development that we are inquiring here. So and there are 4-5 points, the basic differences between growth and development, that we'll discuss further. Though growth and development indicates the same thing, but in a strict sense, growth and development do not mean the same. First, growth refers to increase in GDP. So first of all, growth refers to increase in GDP, which is measured in terms of annual change and in a short-term phenomenon. Like it is a short-term phenomenon. In a shorter time there is an increase in GDP. But when it comes to development can be judged for long-term, when it is long-term aspect. So development refers to long-term aspects of change in per capita income. Per capita income is involved here also in development, but in terms of it refers to the increase in per capita income for long-term aspects. So development refers not just the change in per capita income, but also the accompanying processes of the structural change. So development is the growth plus something more, which cannot be captured by the change in per capita income alone. That we have already discussed a bit when we were inquiring about the salary thing. So salary is there is an increase in salary, but is the standard of living is increasing, or it is going up or not? So that thing we inquire when we talk about the development. And growth focuses on the end product. Suppose there is per capita income. So increase in per capita income, it is the end product of the growth. But when it comes to development, development doesn't focus just on the end product. That is the increase in per capita income. So increase in per capita income cannot say there is a development, because we do not just focus on the end product when we talk about the development. We focus throughout the, we focus on things which is in the process. Like we check the journey also throughout the process, what is happening. So is there development? Suppose we talk about a company. When we talk about the growth of the company, it is the company actually at the end of the fiscal year or at the end of the quarter, there is an increase in the capital, or there is an increase in the profit. That is the growth. So when we talk about the profit of the company, we are talking about the growth. But when it comes to development, we just do not talk about the profit. Along with that, we talk about other aspects like the development in the different departments of the company, like the HR department, or the company got into some new business, or the company purchased some new equipments for the manufacturing of finished goods, or maybe there is an better products, or the better equipments company has bought. So better equipments make the working of the company better for employees also. So this is called the development. The development is horizontal as well as vertical. But when it comes to growth, growth is usually horizontal, because we talk about just profit, and here we talk about other aspects also, which are not just measured in terms of money. Now the third point is the growth which is based on per capita income is usually average measurement. So we measure the average thing in per capita income. Since growth is the measure of average, so we cannot say that it is a universal growth. It means, suppose the increase in per capita income is the average growth of the population. So everyone is not getting the same growth. In a big chunk of population, maybe a very small number of persons are getting big growth. So per capita income is one average measured thing, which shows that there is an increase in per capita income. So increase in per capita income shows growth. But the meaning of this growth is vague, since it is an average measured thing. We don't know the ground reality. Per capita income is actually total income in a country divided by the number of people in a country. So it is averaged. So, but we don't know on the ground level how many people are getting benefited. And even if we know, we can see a very less portion of people are actually getting increase in their income. Suppose in India there are many big companies, many big corporate employees who are really getting very good salary or very good increment, and the companies are getting big profits. But a very big chunk of population is not getting that growth, and a number of people are living in slums. in figures we can show that yes, there is increase in per capita income, but the lifestyle or the living standard of the people, common people, is not increasing. So there is growth but not development, and this growth itself has a vague meaning, because this growth in the per capita income is just because of very few number of people and not the whole population. And the fourth point is accounting entity of the growth. So growth measured in per capita income is an accounting entity, and it is based on market valuation. So that's why it underestimates non-market activities, and hence which is not very much significant in the contribution of development, because development needs both the market valuation as well as the non-market activities. For example, we increase the salary of laborers. So in figures we see that yes, we have given more salary. So in figures it is shown that there is a growth, and market valuation says that yes, we have given more salary to the labor. So we have evaluated the growth of the salary according to the market valuation. But by using this money or increase in salary, is he able to send his children to a better education or better school? Why I am telling all these things? That development includes non-economic things as well. Somebody is capable of purchasing something, but he may not be allowed to purchase those things. He may not be allowed to purchase those comforts because of the limitation of those comfort. So that is a developmental problem. Okay, so we are done with this concept. Now there is another point, which is in the global perspective, if there is growth in per capita income, we see it affects the depletion of non-renewable resources and pollution of environment. Taking simple example, suppose we get more salary. Suppose somebody is getting 10,000 rupees a month, or after few months he gets 15,000 a month. So if he is able to afford a motorbike, then he will get a motorbike. So a motorbike actually uses petrol, and this is a non-renewable resource. So he will use these non-renewable resource, and collectively if we see these things for the big chunk of population, so they will use the non-renewable resource, and eventually it will turn in pollution of environment. So growth has this negative effect. Growth does not reveal these negative effects on development.